This is BTV News at 9 o'clock. I am Khomotso Mapani. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Advocate Mmamabula-Lephalale in Nakala, Mozambique for a two-day working visit. Proposed Mmamabula-Lephalale rail link poised to position Botswana as a logistics hub.
And then sport, Absa Bank Botswana sponsors Summer Kids Marathon for 1.95 million pula over the next 3 years.
Interpreting in sign language is Amantle Babili. Joining us later is Tato Khosimore with sport. Good evening. Government of Botswana resolute about the transformation of the economy and driving inter-Africa trade with countries such as Mozambique. Speaking with BTV News in Nakala, Mozambique, Minister for International Relations, Dr. Penyo Budale, says President Advocate Mmamabula-Lephala's visit to Mozambique is in sync with government's resolve to steer the country away from being a consumer economy to building a robust and vibrant economy. President Advocate Mmamabula-Lephalale arrived this evening in Maputo for a two-day working visit where he will hold official talks with his Mozambican counterpart, Mr. Daniel Chapo, on bilateral, regional and multilateral issues of common interest.
Something tangible se se diragala re be re lebella gore ka gore re na le go tsona le maiteko a gore gongwe ka re ntsha the best beef in Africa, in the world, I give go tsona le maiteko a gore beef ya rona e tekwana ke eng go ntse go sa kgonagale ba na le di-port jaaka re bua re ka dirisana jang mo di-porteng tse go tsamaisa dithoto tsa rona le go tlisa dithoto tse re di tlhokang yaanong ta utlwana tara le mono o ta etela tsone di-Nakala ports a ba etela jalo ko e leng gore ke disaster center gone mo Nakala mme tla re ga tswa go a ba kopana le tautona Daniel Chapo ba buisana ko bothokong mme tara ga ba buisana ko bothokong e be go na le dipuisano tsa bo ministera le officials go buisana gone gore mme hela re tswe ka tema re thagole tsela e thamaletseng ya gore jaanong gone re ka ntsha maduo jang mo tirisanong e ya rona kana sengwe sa dilo tse puso e ntšha e batlang go di dira ke gore rona re lefatshe la Botswana re ntshe motlakase o gongwe ebile re tla kgonang go rekisetsa mahatsha a re batlileng lona through renewable energy jaanong ra go bona power plant gone ko Maputo e le maikaelelo a gore re nne re ntse re kwatabolotse le bone re bone gore re ka thusana jang le rona re ka dirisa kitso tsa rona go ba thusa ka tsela e ntseng jang mme re tla re le ko Maputo be re etela Maputo port le gone e ntse le kgang hela ya gore re batla go tokagatsa go tsamaya ga dithoto re netefatse gore our economy is jacked out of inertia ebile re bona e le gore go na le botshelo mo go yone ka gore ya ka o itse le ha tsela Botswana ke le ha tseleng gore it's a landlocked country and therefore Mozambique with all its ports ina le go eleng gore go heta lo kwane teng kana di-ports tse di tshwana le bo Beira tse eleng gore lo kwane le tsamaya teng le ka re go ka re thusa jaaka e le gore mo bogautshwane re sa tswa go utlwa tona wa tsa kgotetso a tlhalosa gore re nile le phithelelo e tona e leng gore re nile le mo go teng G2G kana government to government agreement le mahatshe a bo UAE gore jaanong re te re reke lookwane ka tlhotlhwa e kwa tlase go tswa kwa e be le ta ko Botswana go raya gore kana ga re na le tumalano le ba Mozambique go raya gore e tla heta kwano go sena bothata e be e le gore re gokotsa tlhwatlhwa ya lookwane le tsena ko Botswana e be e le gore re gokotsa tlhwatlhwa ya sengwe le sengwe kana lookwane ke lone le e leng gore it fuels the economy.
According to a press release from Office of the President, President Mmamabula-Lephalale has, in accordance with the powers granted by Section 42 of the Constitution, redeployed Assistant Minister Justin Hunyepa from the Ministry of Higher Education to the Ministry of Child Welfare and Basic Education, where he will still serve as Assistant Minister with immediate effect. The Ministry for State President informs the public that the project administrative team, which will facilitate Alvarez and Marsal Middle East Limited, has been appointed. Mr. Mmamabula-Lephalale has been appointed as head of the project administration team alongside Ms. Catherine Mushodi. The release says Alvarez and Marsal is the company appointed to conduct a forensic audit of state-owned entities, that is, ministries, departments, oversight and regulatory bodies. The Assistant Minister of Transport and Infrastructure, Mr. Mmamabula-Lephalale, says the proposed Mmamabula-Lephalale rail will position Botswana as a logistic hub in the southern region. Mr. Mmamabula said this when officiating at the Mmamabula-Lephalale rail Rail Link Investor Forum on Thursday in Gaborone. The proposed rail line by Botswana Railways, with support from Transnet Stock Limited in South Africa, is intended to connect the Mmamabula coalfields in Botswana with Lephalale municipality in South Africa. Monica Seswaila with more.
The Investor Forum served as a platform to drive progress for the long overdue Mmamabula-Lephalale rail link. The 120 kilometers railway line is expected to unlock mineral wealth, particularly facilitating the transportation of coal from Botswana to South Africa for power generation, a sector that is currently struggling.
Our shared vision is to develop a modern, efficient railway network that will support trade, foster industrialization, create jobs, and improve the livelihoods of our communities. The Mmamabula-Lephalale rail link is central to the vision, linking Botswana with South Africa and the broader region, thereby enhancing and strengthening our position as a key logistic hub in Southern Africa.
The feasibility study of the rail line is designed to effectively cater for most bulk minerals such as coal, industrial salt, among other freight.
The rail sector remains a key driver of industrial growth. When we talk about reliable and sustainable, just to put it into perspective, one train is equivalent to about 50 to 60 trucks off the road. So you can see how sustainable and reliable it is. And for a train, there is no stopping at the border. There are no queues at the border. It's just borderless. No borders, nothing. So you can see how sustainable and reliable it is.
The realization of revenue from these minerals is to a large extent dependent on adequate logistics. You can mine how much or however much you want, but if you do not have logistics to take your product to the market, it will be a futile case because you'll not realize any revenue. This particular meeting today to move forward the Mmamabula-Lephalale railway line.
We're doing this to optimize the carrying capacity of the train so that on one trip you are really able to make sure that you absolutely optimize the traffic across there. A very important aspect of what we've done is that the operating model, which I'll deal with in the next slide, is such that the train does not stop at the border. So we've not designed any border for this particular train. It simply departs from Mmamabula, picks up its cargo, and runs across all the way to Lephalale without any stopping.
The successful execution of the Mmamabula-Lephalale railway line project, which is to be carried out through a private-led investment, is viewed as a game-changer for Botswana, a better way to unlock economic value, as well as to advance the objectives of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Monica Seswaila, BTV News, Gaborone.
The ambassador of the United States of America to Botswana, Mr. Howard Van Franken, has expressed his excitement about the growth and progress of the local mining sector, as this positions the country well to easily diversify its economy, implement key development and reduce unemployment rate. Mr. Van Franken said this when visiting Giyani Manganese Mine in Kanye. Emmanuel Rapoa has more.
United States of America and Botswana's bilateral relations dates years back on key sectors ranging from mining, health, human development, education and security. It is against these fundamental pillars that the American ambassador to Botswana visited the Guyane manganese mine in Kanye to establish progress made and the best local beneficiation model to be deployed.
This is the future for Botswana. These kind of responsibly mined sites, in this case for manganese, but Botswana is rich with these types of resources. I'm delighted to see the government in conjunction with a very responsible Canadian firm working to bring this to the market. And I'm super thrilled and excited by the fact that they're going to do a lot of the beneficiation right here in Botswana. They're going to make jobs. They're going to employ people. They're going to bring these important minerals to the market for the world to use.
We met with the ambassador last week and he wanted to appreciate the project. The EV industry and the energy storage industry is taking off, as you are aware, and the US is one of the countries that want raw materials for the EV battery facilities in the US. So they're very keen to understand what Botswana has to offer and what Botswana is going to produce in terms of manganese. Manganese, high purity manganese that Guyane is going to produce is a growing component with regards to EV batteries.
The mine management has thus far made tremendous strides to eventually reach the final lap of sourcing funding for operationalizing the mine.
So we're taking the project through the value chain, and in doing that, the community benefits because we will create more jobs than we would do if we were just producing a basic raw material. In addition to that, we're bringing a new skill to the country.
Operationalizing this mine will help to create jobs, benefit the business sector, and it is cardinal to keep the community informed and date of opening the mine. Much is anticipated from this old mine that has rich manganese deposits to benefit the public with many empowerment opportunities. Emmanuel Rapua, BTV News, Kanye.
Member of Parliament for Gaborone North, who is also the Assistant Minister for State President, Ms. Mmamabula-Lephalale has lauded efforts by a local company, Market Players, of imparting entrepreneurial skills to young children across Botswana. Market Players, a local company, is on a drive to develop a culture of entrepreneurship amongst primary school-going students through the use of the Monopoly game competitions. This is envisaged to impart to them skills such as budgeting, investment, debt, and financial management. This was highlighted at Hillcrest International School this afternoon. Hobanaone Sehedi with more.
Monopoly is a board game played by multiple players buying and trading in properties. Local company Market Players saw this game as a tool that can be used to impart entrepreneurial skills to primary school-going students, Moreso that is designed for ages 8 and above. Business skills are seen as vital in today's economy, which pushes entrepreneurship, especially amongst unemployed youth.
We are very intentional about this because we want to broaden the economic perspectives of children, and we believe that the more children come and are exposed to a different environment, to meet kids from different backgrounds, it really shifts their mindsets and broaden their perspectives to realize that, you know what, I can actually be more and do more. Also, besides that, it's to gamify enterprise culture. We realize that with kids, it might be a bit difficult to put them in a classroom without making it fun. So we said, let's start with something that kids can actually enjoy. And we went for a game that we all know, we all love, we've all played it at some point in our life, and that's a game of Monopoly.
Ms. Muputing hails this is a great initiative which government fully supports, which will help develop Botswana's future entrepreneurs.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that this government is fully behind efforts to transform education and promote entrepreneurship. We are working tirelessly to improve the performance of our public schools invest in teacher training and integrate practical skills like financial literacy into the curriculum and so forth. Programs such as junior players complement these efforts by making learning fun, relevant, and we intend to see them expand.
Market Players' aim is to reach over 10 schools by 2026, both private and public. Through this initiative, teach business skills to over 100 children each year. Khobana Nesehedi, Botswana Television, Gaborone.
The Office of the President has received a donation of 70,000 pula from Bible Life Ministries in Gaborone to assist with relief efforts for communities impacted by flooding. The Office of the President also received contributions from other local companies, which included Fair Price Group of Companies, the Mohammed IV Foundation, and the Korean Community Association. Minister Mohasa received the donation. Mpho Keleboge with the details.
All the financial support from Bible Ministries and food hampers and other related services will form part of the long-term sustainable intervention from different stakeholders in disaster response and recovery.
Period le ngore re bua ka yone ke up to May up to May ngo na o heta period at nearly 2 mona re na le seemo ya re ntse re kopa mo setšhabeng gore ba ba kgona ba re thuse ka di test kits tsa malaria ba re thuse gape le ka di net.
Different stakeholders has expressed the willingness to respond to disaster and recovery.
Bible Life Ministries re bone go le botlhokwa gore e re bangwe ka rona ba le mo mathateng a sa tswang go batlhagela re itshupe re le ba Bible Life ka go nna le sabe
hela ka Motswana re matsogo dinku a thebana ke sone se re se dirang re ha ka gore Batswana ntse ba re supporta ibile re sologela re batla re supporta thata ka gore diemo tse dingwe tse dintsi because of global warming tse di gaisang tse di ka nna tsatla so go ra gore nne re thusanya gore le rona ka moso re kgone go thusa ya ka re thusitse gompieno.
As a church we are sharing, and in the Bible we are told that we should love our neighbors, so we were showing love to our family members and the Botswana as large.
Re na le tsone tse di bitswang di solidarity projects ke tsone tse di amana le charity le go ha ba ba thokang yalo yalo meano re bona re ka gore gona le bothata bo re tswa mo go bone ba di floods re te go thusa.
Botswana has been a very good home to Koreans over the years, so it's our pleasure to make a small donation in this time of need to help with the relief of the disasters, and we hope that Botswana continues to be a good home for many Koreans going forwards.
The gesture displayed by different stakeholders is part of a multi-sectoral national emergency operations for disaster response, especially flood response and rescue missions. Mpho Keleboge, Botswana Television, Gaborone.
Anti-stock theft unit at the Botswana Police have pointed out that it is imperative for the community to stand united and form associations in order to partake in the fight against the cases of stock theft, which continue to increase countrywide. Different police officers from the anti-stock theft unit said this during the anti-stock theft farmers workshop on Wednesday, which was held in Botlhapatu Lazy Class.
This workshop came after realization of increasing rate of stock theft cases across the country, with the aim of coming up with strategies and initiatives which will help fight stock theft. Therefore, partnership between members of the community and anti-stock theft unit is said to be pivotal in reinforcing the efforts to fight against this crime.
re bereke rothe ke gone re ka kgonang hela gore re lwantshe bogodi ja leruo a re ipopeng re itse gore ga go tekolo e nngwe e meha e olla nama re ka tsamang gaufi mapodisi ba santse ba tswalo batse re tshwanetse gore re itse gore re tshwanetse go ipopa re re kgone go bereka ka re le masheta re le mmogo.
Those task teams ke tsone tse di ka re thusang because malatsia ba thaba mo sekgweng go tswa ba isa ko toropong ba tsamaya ka ditsela ba tsamaya ka gongwe le gongwe ga ba ka tsamayang ka teng mme go tlhoka lona le mapodisi be le mo grounding dikolonyana tsene tse di tsamayang bosigo le di emisa di setšhiwe yaanong go tlhoka gore e be re kopantse our efforts re bona gore re ka kgona yang.
Meanwhile, farmers decried about shortage of facilities, more especially that of the police vehicle during emergency calls.
So I get go kganahala go le kae gore le tlhomamisetse gore mente go tota gore le bereke sente le tabe le tshwanetse go na le ditsompelo di le kae.
Batho ba modimo ba sa itse ba ka itirang batho ba modimo ga bana le ha ile gore ha o tswa ha lo tabule ke tswa ga moswana ke a gile teng batho ga gona gore ka re ke mokua le ke tabule ke re gongwe kilo hani a ira jang ka gore ga gona ha ile kolo ina ka tsamaya
re tsweletse ka go amogela dikoloi tse di tswang go mara mapodisi ko ofising ya gago tota e le lenaneo la go oketsa dikoloi tse re na le tsone gore go ne le dikoloi tse leng gore re ka tabogara le thusa ka tsone.
The community has been encouraged to report anything that they suspect to be dealings or proceeds of stock theft to any nearby police station at all the times. Lisa Klaas, BTV News, Botapato.
You're still with BTV News at 9. The Boteti District Council Chairperson, Mr. Mmamabula-Lephalale, has appealed to residents of Boteti and service providers to be patient as the council faces financial constraints to provide services. Mr. Mmamabula-Lephalale said this when addressing a full council meeting in Letlhakane.
We are behind in payment of a number of suppliers, contractors and even beneficiaries. I would like to assure you that the Office of Council Secretary and my office are fully engaged with our ministry to come up with solutions to resolve this situation. Therefore, I urge you to be positive going forward and assure our communities that the current status will be addressed so that we are gearing forward a new financial year.
The district council, it has been struggling. The
council has been struggling for too long with a budget deficit, so I expected the council to state strategies on how it will generate funds to address the deficit.
This strategy, district
As the primary health care is transferred to the local government ministry under the councils, I wonder if our council will be able to buy ambulances and employ medical doctors in our clinics under these circumstances.
Are we going to be ready?
Miss World Botswana Anisha Rautusi says she will continue to advocate for better healthcare system even on the global stage as she prepares for the 72nd edition of Miss World in India this May. She said this at her farewell ceremony by the Miss Botswana organization following the crowning of Miss Botswana 2025 last Saturday.
That scenario, that's when I learned the importance of health. I learned the importance of people having to have proper health care, people having to know the basics of health care. And I put it to myself to bridge that gap where people that are so far from clinics, so far from proper health care services, and I said that is me. And I'm going to bridge that gap. I'm going to make sure people know the basic first aid. I'm going to make sure people become the possible lifesavers of each other. So that's my aim, to make sure that each and every one is a possible lifesaver.
We are proud of you as family. You have carried the house's name way higher than it has been before, and we appreciate that so much.
But as I reflect on my reign as a princess, I have to acknowledge my queen, Miss World Botswana Anisha Hautusi. I remember one time someone asked me, is it real? Is the support genuine? And I remember I said, I would wish for someone to support me if I was in her shoes. So I'm going to support her the best way that I can. And standing here, I can say I'm proud. We are confident in our queen that she is ready to go to Miss World. Training with Anisha and Hali has been quite a blessing. These girls are my sisters, and I think talking about this after Babia sounds like a repetition, but it's very true. The sisterhood that we formed through the Miss Botswana organization is something that will last us for a lifetime, and I'm truly, truly grateful for it.
Tata Khosemore is standing by to give you sport.
Thank you, Khomotso Mapane. Welcome to the last edition of Botswana Tonight Sports segment brought to you by Tato Khosemore. And here is our leading story. Absa Bank Botswana has announced a 3-year sponsorship agreement worth 1.95 million pulam with the Absa Kids Marathon. As part of the agreement, the bank will also avail a sum of 1 million pulam for activation and other logistical necessities during the same year. Horata Mueng with more.
The retail director at Absa Botswana, Valeta Mtimkulu, says the partnership is not only a commitment to the well-being of the children, but also a journey that speaks of how the company empowers future generations, which she described as a core part of what her company stands for.
For another round, and I remember last year when we spoke, we said we would be back. And I'm so excited that we are back for yet another edition of the Absa Summer Kids Marathon. And what a pleasure and privilege it has been to be a part of this journey. Because for us, it's a journey that speaks to how we empower future generations. And that's a core part of what we stand for as Absa. And when we look at this sponsorship, from where we look at it, it is not just a sponsorship. I think it's one of the sponsorship for me that gives. And if there is one sponsorship we do that's very live in my household, it is this one. I think it speaks to, for me, what happens when we tap into that natural passion that children have. You know, you touch a child, you are always amazed at how much they give back. You give back once, they give back 100 times.
When receiving the sponsorship, the co-founder of the Absa Summer Kids Marathon, Martin Fanny, thanked the Absa Bank for their helping hand, emphasizing the need for such marathon in today's lives. He said such sponsorships enables them to expand their efforts in promoting fitness and healthy habits among children.
This initiative promotes health, fitness, and overall well-being, while fostering an environment for children from diverse backgrounds to engage in recreation and social interaction. By Fenmo Sports Agency under the leadership of myself and Mr. Mwahi Madisa, the marathon continues to make meaningful impact by encouraging both mental and physical wellness amongst children. From a modest 320 participants in its inaugural year, that is 2022, we have seen remarkable growth.
I also work with kids. Starting Kids Marathon is not something that anyone could have thought of. Martin did a commendable job and deserves to be applauded. We thank him for having found it fit to start such a marathon.
So, Martin, thank you so very much for hosting this marathon.
The Absa Summer Kids Marathon, which is in its 4th edition, is dedicated to promoting physical activity and a healthy lifestyle among children from 6 to 16 years. The Absa Summer Kids Marathon is expected to take place on the 28th of April at the 3 Dikgosi Monument. Horatamweng, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Moving on, in less than 17 days, local and international elite athletes are expected to set the Gaborone National Stadium track ablaze in a battle for supremacy during the FNB Botswana Golden Grand Prix. Orange Botswana Public Relations and Communications Manager Tebogo Nadisa says they found it important to sponsor FNB Botswana Golden Grand Prix to ensure that the event delivers seamless logistics, world-class facilities, and the premium experience for both athletes and spectators. Orange Botswana has sponsored the race with 1 million pulam. Victoria Dakin.
Nadisa highlighted that they sponsored the inaugural FNBB Golden Grand Prix with 600,000 pula in 2023, and this year they have increased the amount with 400,000 pula to ensure that the race meets global standards, as it is one of the Africa's premier athletics meets, which attracts top international athletes and boosting Botswana's sport profile.
Our sponsorship is in twofold. We've sponsored in monetary value, where we are aiding the organizers of the Grand Prix in terms of travel and logistics for the athletes that are coming around. And we've also, over and above the money that we've pledged to them, is we will be giving them the telco benefits. This is airtime data for them to be able to interact, engage in preparation for the final day.
Nadisa also stated that the sponsorship was a testament of their continued efforts to sports development in the country.
Orange, as you may know, has been sponsoring the FA Cup. FA Cup, now we are on the 16th, last 16. We've started this in January, and we've been with teams that are from the grassroots. And now we are at a stage where we'll be leading to the finale. And this is a great asset that we've, as Orange, sponsored throughout. And also, if you may recall, last year we sponsored the team that had qualified for the Olympics.
To date, some of the top athletes who have already confirmed their availability for the FNB Botswana Golden Grand Prix, scheduled to take place at the National Stadium in Gaborone on April 12, include 100 meters runner Ferdinand Omanyala of Kenya, Andre de Grasse of Canada, and South Africa's Akani Simbine. Ivorian Marie-José Talou and USA's Nia Ali are some of the athletes who have already sealed the deal from the women's category. Victoria Dakin, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Meanwhile, Orange Botswana has renewed its partnership with the reigning 200-meter Olympic champion Letsile Tebogo, extending the athlete's role as Orange brand ambassador. The relationship started 3 years ago when Orange Botswana identified the renowned young sprinter who became the first Botswana to win the 100-meter title at the Under-20 World Championship at Oregon, United States of America.
This is one of our very own assets that we treasure and value, because our partnership with Letsile speaks exactly to our brand, which is about innovation and growth. We started this journey a couple of years ago when he was still a youth. He's now matured into ensuring that he brought a gold medal to our 200 meters. So this has been a success, just not to him, to the country at large.
And that's how we wrap up Botswana Tonight sports segment this evening. Before we part ways, let's take a recap of our leading stories.
President Boko arrived this evening in Maputo, Mozambique for a 2-day working visit. Proposed Mmamabula-Lephalale rail link poised to position Botswana as a logistic hub.
And then sport, Absa Bank Botswana sponsored a Summer Kids Marathon for 1.95 million pulam over the next 3 years.
That's how we come to the end of our news bulletin this Thursday evening. In sign language was Mmamabula-Lephalale. In sport, Thato Khosimore. Up next is the weather update. BTV News, Iganyarona.
Good evening and welcome to today's weather update, proudly brought to you by Faith Ketshabile. Now, the rainfall amounts that were recorded this morning are as follows: 60 millimeters at Mahotshwane Primary School, 35 millimeters at Mabutsane Primary School, 31 millimeters at Ngojane Animal Insemination, 20 millimeters at Ramatlabama Primary School and Puduhudu Primary School, 19 millimeters at Inalogolo Primary School, 18 millimeters at Kokum Primary School, 17 millimeters at Sorila Tholo Primary School, 15 millimeters at Mudili Siriti Mabutswa Lands at Lukweng, 12 millimeters at BB74 Farm near Tshane, 10 millimeters at Lepepe Meteorological Station and Kisa Primary School. 6 millimeters at Komudia Saba Primary School, 5 millimeters at Tankani Primary School, 4 millimeters at Itoloke Primary School, and 3 millimeters at Good Hope Meteorological Station and in Gaborone Village Meteorological Station. Now, the current satellite image shows some clouds over most parts of the country, which are expected to give us some thunder showers this evening. And for tomorrow, cloudy conditions are expected over Gantsi Kgalagadi, south and southeast Gauteng, Kwening, south and central, with isolated thunder showers over Gantsi Kgalagadi, south and southeast Gauteng and Kwening. Now, looking into the northern part, going to the northeastern part of the country, partly cloudy conditions are expected. And morning temperatures are expected to be warm over Gantsi Kgalagadi, southern and northeast, with 17 degrees Celsius over Francistown and 19 degrees Celsius over most areas of Kgalagadi. The other parts of the country, hot temperatures are expected, ranging between 20 degrees Celsius over most areas over south and central, up to 21 degrees Celsius over the Mmamabula district. Now, afternoon temperatures are expected to be mild over south and southeast Gauteng and Kwening, ranging between 25 degrees Celsius over Good Hope and Tshwane, up to 26 degrees Celsius over Lepepe and Gaborone. For Gantsi Kgalagadi, the whole of central and northeast, we are expecting some warm temperatures ranging between 27 degrees Celsius over Selebe-Phikwe and Platjan, up to 32 degrees Celsius over Suapen and Maitengwe. Lastly, for Chobe and Ngamiland, hot temperatures are expected ranging between 33 over Pandamatenga and Kasani, up to 34 degrees Celsius up to or over Maung and Gumari. Now let's get into the weekend forecast. For south and southeast Gauteng and Kwening, partly cloudy conditions are expected with isolated thunder showers on Sunday and warm afternoon temperatures. Gantsi and Kgalagadi, partly cloudy conditions are still expected with warm afternoon temperatures over most areas. And for Chobe and Ngamiland, we project the partly cloudy conditions with hot afternoon temperatures over most areas. Lastly, for central and northeast, partly cloudy conditions are expected with warm afternoon temperatures over most areas, except on Sunday over north and central, where hot temperatures are expected. That's all from the weather forecasting desk. Have yourself a good night.